about to watch a Patreon live stream. If you're interested in participating in a future Patreon live stream, you should definitely consider joining my community at patreon.com/Abbey Normal's Wisdom Quest. Hey, Amanda. Hey, Kyle. And we have a DBZ GTAF 10. Welcome. Let me open the chat box here. Hello. Good morning, you guys. Good afternoon. And good evening, maybe. It is 7 a.m. here, and it's still early. My voice hasn't quite caught up to speed yet. Oh, it's gonna be a good lunchtime for you, Kyle. All right, I'm gonna tell you guys right off the bat that I would really love to get some ideas, okay? And you can throw them in the chat box there, but this morning I would really like to hear from Aphrodite. So I'm going to do a mini channeling with Aphrodite and kind of tune into your heart and see what you would really love to hear from whoever that might be. Abraham Lincoln, Mother Earth, the Pleiadians, whatever comes to you. Put it in the chat box, and then when I come out of my Aphrodite experience, then we can do the next one. Okay, what do you guys think? By the way, I even have a little cup of coffee here. I do love Christmas mugs, and I have Frosty the Snowman mugs, so like frosty mugs for a hot coffee because it's funny. It's a good joke. Okay. Do you think it's going to be just us? Us wonderful lucky three. Okay, so Chawshalls, aliens, ETs. So these are some something I've never heard of. Is this something you've recently run into, like in your own journey experience, in your own time? And how about another? Add some. And let's do the Annunaki. Okay. Oh my gosh. Yes. So, okay. I'm actually tuning in here. Amanda, you got some recommendations? Clear quartz consciousness. Cool. Oh, it's Lush. Why are you being all sneaky? That's awesome. Thank you for coming, Lush. Is it actually this evening for you? So like good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Did we officially 10 p.m.? Okay, so just before bed. Yes, you can always be sneaky, Lush. Okay. Charshols, alien ETs, and add some. Okay. So we'll do Chawshalls, Annunaki, clear quartz consciousness, and then we'll swing back around. Okay. Oh, I have another person. I have Zoom user. Welcome, Zoom user. If there's anybody you would really like to hear from today, put it in the chat box. So I'm going to be doing Aphrodite, and then I'm going to be doing a unique alien ET I've never heard of, Chawshalls, which is going to be very interesting. The Annunaki, clear quartz consciousness. And if there's something you would really love me to tap into, go ahead and put it in the chat box. Okay, I am officially going to get started. I love you guys so much. Okay. Aphrodite. She says, wash your face. And in the image, I had all this water on my face. And sometimes when I tune into the journey state, I kind of have to move energy around. And sometimes it's a reflection of what the message is about. And as I was doing this on my face to kind of get tapped in, there's all this water that had sort of developed here, and it's in my hands, and I'm just sort of moving my hands down, and then the water is moving down off my hands. And she says, wash your face. So let's see where she's going with this. Now I hear a fingernail tapping like this. Okay. Oh, so we're weighing some concepts here. The concept of responsibility, right? To get ready, to get up, to get ready, to go. And this represents time, and time that is in a way impatient, but time that is calculated. But then there's also this concept of, if you could lay in bed, would you? And why would you do that? How is that taking responsibility? Is just laying in bed. And she wants to talk about this. At least I'm assuming that's kind of what she's representing here. Do you want to go further on this conversation, Aphrodite, or do you want to tell us something else? Oh, how do you get out of bed and feel as bright as the sun that is rising? And how do you make a point to wake up, to embrace the day? So the word responsibility, which can feel very adultish and mature and like work, doesn't actually exist. Because when you wake up like the sun rising, you naturally want to do these things. And it feels good to do these things. And there's no real sensation of time. How do you return to something a little bit more instinctive? She shows me as a kid and it's summertime and I don't have to go to school. It was no problem for me to get out of bed, to get dressed, to eat my breakfast, and to go outside because it was my life, to go do these things. And as you get older, it's almost like our relationship with our world can be taxing and emotional and confusing. And now it's the weekend and we don't want to do anything else, please. And we wonder how long we can just lay in bed until we have to get up. And then we know we need to get these things done and we have to get up. How do we embrace our lives? How do we rise like the sun? Right now, she is sending us comfort, just relaxation and comfort. She is allowing us to know that it is safe to melt away, literally melting like the snow, like a Frosty the Snowman, melting away what burdens us right now. And she's really constantly let it melt away, let it melt away, let it melt away, let it melt away. And as she says this, it's really to tune our mind into what she's saying as the key words that distract us away from the burden, because all we need to be doing is melting it away so we can rise like the sun. And this is encouraging us to live in this present moment and to embrace the present moment. So now I understand some of this water buildup. And she's kind of smiling about when you're a kid, you're supposed to wash your face and brush your teeth. And there's something wonderful about a cold washcloth in the morning, even, or hot, whichever you prefer. But there's something about water on the face, like even splashing yourself awake. It does have an effect. It does help you to wake up. It does help you to shift from the dream state to the living world. Water does. And she doesn't want it to feel like a chore or responsibility, but just something that feels good, because it is something that feels good. Even to slow down and really enjoy brushing your teeth, because the toothpaste actually tastes kind of good. And to notice that you are taking care of yourself in these simple rhythms and routines. And it makes you feel good to take care of yourself and to acknowledge that for yourself, that you are taking care of yourself, even if it is in these simple ways. She is really happy that a group of human beings are all spending time together right now, no matter where you are on the planet, right? We are sharing time with one another and sharing an experience together. And I can feel that she is sharing love and support and gentleness and timelessness and nurture with our hearts and our minds and our bodies. And it is support. It's beautiful. Mm. That was so nice. Hi, Dylan. Hi, Rob. Welcome. I'm going down a list of requests here. And if you have anybody you would like me to tap into, I can't make guarantees that I'll be able to get to everyone, but please put it in the chat box. So I'm going to be doing Chawshalls, which is an alien ET race I've never heard of. And then Annunaki, the clear quartz consciousness. And if you guys have some ideas, just throw it in the chat box. Okay. Chawshalls. I'm just thanking Aphrodite for that message. That was so nice. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Wow, this is complicated. I'm just going to start by standing here. I feel like I'm about to play a Simon Says game. Yeah, I have no idea what Simon is saying. But I do feel this very interesting energy that's all around me. And I think about glow sticks. It doesn't want to show me itself as a form. It wants to show me itself as an energy, like the air that we breathe. Like if the air itself was a body, then this would be this Charshols is how it's expressing itself at this time. And it definitely isn't. So even when I'm here and I'm inhaling and exhaling, I am not breathing in or exhaling this consciousness. It remains separate from my form. So it sort of surrounds me kind of like a glove, but it never enters or merges with me, but it is all around me. It's not necessarily, oh, okay. Something's changing here. And that energy that's surrounding me pulls itself back. And it starts to look like a ginormous foot, like a, I don't know, I'm just going to call it a lion's foot, but it has more like protruding paw fingers. um, and maybe like a duck, but it's not webbed per se, but it is furry and it is the color of a lion. And it's so enormous. I can't even understand it because it is so big. that my eyes can't understand what it is. Because it is so big, I cannot interpret it. So I say, well, I'll just interpret you as a foot. And then something bigger than that attached to a foot. My guides tell me to grow as big as it. I see. Who's interpreting who here? Am I interpreting you, or are you figuring me out? Because when I get super big and I look into the eyes of it, it looks into my eyes and we see just a mirror between us. And it is literally like I'm looking at myself. However, I look at myself as a strange animal thing. And I don't necessarily feel like that is what it looks like. Because again, I feel it in the energetic air all around me, almost like it's presenting an idea to see how I react to it in order to learn about me. Okay, so I'm going to disappear vibrationally so it cannot pick up on me. And I'm going to go to a higher version, vibrational version of the same consciousness. And see if I could just channel a message. Oh my God. A higher dimensional version of this. Oh, weird. Okay. All right. Let's just take a nail polish in a bottle. So it's kind of rounded with maybe like a cap that's a little bit like a triangle. It's flat on top. Imagine a face that looks like this, and where the cap is, there's an eyeball and an eyeball and an eyeball and an eyeball and an eyeball. And I don't know what the blubbery ball is, but it doesn't necessarily represent the face, because the cap sort of represents the face. And then this, and it's attached to protrusions that create a body, okay? And it is kind of a lusher location, and it's sunny. But what's interesting is I don't see a separation between the sun and the other aspect of the atmosphere, which we would call the sky, right? It's everywhere. The sun is everywhere around me. It's not going to hurt me by any means. It's more so wanting to watch and observe and absorb. So it shows me where I was not inhaling or exhaling it. It was touching my energy field, so it was absorbing information about me. And it wasn't doing that to make me uncomfortable or confuse me. And I say, well, why the big foot? It says it's any shape. It can be any shape. And it's not like a human that needs the shape to be something it can interpret. It's just a shape, because shapes are shapes and they don't need to be interpreted as the shape that it is. So it's actually showing me how we will see a lion and say, wow, what an intelligent and courageous animal, you know? And then we'll see a duck-billed platypus and we'll say, weird, very weird. And then we'll see a cockroach and scream and run away, okay? And so for some reason, and it finds this interesting, our minds interpret every shape as having a personality or an identity or a meaning based on the way that we analyze the meaning of that shape. And so some shapes are valued and other shapes are not valued. And so it's presenting itself as simply a shape, and it wants to see how I will interpret that shape. And so it's kind of like showing me how a very handsome man or a very attractive woman has a specific shape. And so we see that shape and we instantly express that. Or we'll see another human who is not, we don't see that person as attractive because of their shape. Okay. And we'll see that person and instantly have a response to that. So ew and wow, gorgeous. And we do this with everything. We do this with our pets, our babies, our children, our the trees in our yard, the flowers, the fruits and vegetables. We're always interpreting based on shape and size and all this stuff. And so it's becoming different shapes to see what I will say. And I say, this is actually helping me to, I mean, the only way I could interpret you was based on your shape. Like when you were a big foot and I couldn't see anything else beyond because you were so massive, I just couldn't understand you. So all I could do to interpret you was that you were a foot, because I can't work with anything else but some form of an interpretation in order to have a communication. So for me to actually talk to you guys and for us to try to work together on the same page as a team to interpret the meaning of something, I have to explain or describe things and then express how it vibrationally feels to me. The thing is in the energy world versus the physical world, I don't trust the shape of anything. I listen to the sound of what is that shape expressing? What is the sound? So if I'm a blind person, I have no idea what you look like, and I don't care, because it doesn't matter what you look like. It matters how you vibrate. Because if there's any sound that is a discrepancy, I'll know what your weakness is. But if I look at you, I won't be able to see your weakness based on your appearance, because you can alter your appearance for me to then expose myself to the weakness inside myself, which I think seeing is oftentimes in a weird way can challenge us to go beneath the surface of what we see. Oh, he's nodding like, oh, that's very interesting. I'm going to say then that you don't really have an identity, an actual relatable form, or this is you as whatever form you want to express. Where do you exist? Finds that to be an interesting question. Where do you exist? he's expressing laughter, but I don't feel like he's got it figured out just yet. So he's like, where do I exist? Like he noticeably finds that interesting. He goes, ha, 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 ha. Like he's like trying to laugh. And he says, in an anthill, on a blade of grass, on the tuft of a cloud, in the blue of a sky. Okay. I get you. I think on some level, I feel like I can interpret you. I will say vibrationally, I don't feel a threat here. I don't feel any intimidation. I feel like there's meaning and the opportunity to really learn and grow. And that it does make a very good mirror for us to see things about our human race, not just about an individual self, like myself, I could see into myself, but it's almost like concepts that we don't even think about that we're doing every day, that we don't even think about it. We just doing that, and it's like, wow, that's actually kind of true. I'm constantly analyzing shapes all day long and assessing those shapes all freaking day long. That's so weird. I'm even analyzing the sky and assessing the shapes of the clouds and the colors and to decide if it's going to rain. Like I'm always analyzing shapes. So interesting. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. So glad you guys could come today. Okay. I'm going to go to the next one. Oh my gosh. Zoom user, you're sharing something here, Dylan. Okay, Rob. All right. Zoom user. Abbey, not at all normal. Is that you, Jessica? Okay, Annunaki, blush. Okay. I will get lower and lower on the list here. So I cannot wait to enjoy the messages. Okay. Annunaki. I'm gonna just have a little drink of coffee. It's a morning refreshment. Okay. Oh, okay. Bye. I'm saying, let me remember how you called them. Chawshalls. Okay, I feel like waving and just saying goodbye to Charshols because, and I don't know if that is the name of a group, but this is the representation that came, and I really highly value that representation a great deal. So thank you for this, Kyle, this introduction. I'm just really valuing it. So I'm leaving that connection now, and then we're going to go to Annunaki. It's undecided where I am going in relation to Anunnaki because I feel attracted to like four different locations. So I'm paused in order to make a decision inside myself. I have no idea which each location represents. So I'm just going to wait a moment and then allow myself to just choose one. Oh, it has to do with you and your connection with Anunnaki. And it has to do with time and different relationships with time. I don't feel like these are all reflections of Earth locations. And there's versions that are more closer to our reality. I mean, really much so like we could share the same space as them. And I will say there's a benevolence here. There's something like a generosity. There's other versions that are more ascended. And the ascended versions tell me that there are ascended human beings as well. There's ascended of all races already. And I ask immediately, well, is that the future? But this is a male energy. He's really, really sweet. And he's basically saying, yes, we could call that the future. Like he's okay. He's very understanding of the way we think and we speak. And he's so understanding of it that he could actually talk on our level and he could help us understand, and he could use words like, yes, that's the future. Because we relate to the future is a time when the human race evolves. However, my next interpretation is that there are different factions of human races. So even in the past, there are factions of the human race that have already evolved to higher dimensional reflections. And our faction of the human race is working through that evolutionary process, while simultaneously we already are through that evolutionary process. So it's the whole concept of time itself. But he's so easy to talk to, and he's like made out of golden energy. I feel just generosity here. Oh man, he is so loving. I mean, you could have real lifetimes as these beings, even the evolved versions. Oh wow. I don't know how to define him. He's not like a grandpa, like a super loving grandpa energy. He's just a really nice guy. And he's more than just a really nice guy because he's just robustly just generous feeling, and he is so empathetic, like to the point that he's so suave and smooth and relatable instantaneously. Just it's almost like these are human beings. It's almost like these are human beings. Oh wow. He says you could say that too. I just feel like crying. I just I don't know why, but when I look into him, I see the beauty of the human race. And I feel so thankful and I feel hopeful. And I feel like the human race is so absolutely beautiful. And in our pristine state, we are so empathetic, so sensitive and suave and natural about it, and just naturally generous. The energy just flows through us like golden light. And we are so flipping kind to ourselves and each other, as though it's just a way of life. And I will say it's a very peculiar, what I interpret it as, outfit. It's very strange, like let's say a golden top hat. Like Abraham Lincoln wears a top hat, and it's like a golden top hat. And he's not necessarily good looking. He's got kind of a flat face, almost like he has holes in his face where there's no nose there. I say, is this really what you look like? Or I'm just gonna go with it as part of the message that he's the longer I look at him, the more peculiar he looks to me. I don't know if that's his real face. I see that beneath the surface is another face. And I remove the golden top hat and I remove this because it's almost like getting sunken in and not as balanced. But it vibrates from within as always pure gold, like pure love, pure sensitivity. So it doesn't matter what it looks like, because what vibrates from within is so ridiculously loving. Like if heaven could be an incarnate being, it would be this Anunnaki race, this faction of the Anunnaki race, which I'm in an evolved faction of it, okay? Which represents, as far as I am experiencing at this time, an evolved version of the human race, okay? But it doesn't have to be defined, because it's the energy, is the energetic truth. And I just see, oh my gosh. I say it's so conflicting because I feel like you're not the human race, but I can't deny that you are so familiar to me that you seem like a pristine version of the human race. But I also see in you, when this outer layer is removed, the human race goes through really odd changes of identity, even becoming creatures at times and evolving into forms that are hard to understand why we would do that. And time is so, it doesn't, it, one lifetime is like, I mean, if we could put like birthday candles on a cake, we're screwed because time is just so many birthday candles. Like it's just impossible, you know? um, I see weird creaturey forms. Like there's a phase where the human race does not want to be us anymore. We just can't be us anymore. And we, instead of feeling safe to discover who we are inside and nurture that, we have to change our faces, change our body, change our appearance in order to be different. And I don't know why we are escaping by doing this. We aren't actually working on the issue. So we are avoiding the issue by becoming creatures or things. I mean, but that is a very long phase of another span of like 10,000 years, as these strange, I mean, they're kind of like creaturey, sea creaturey things. They don't look human at all, okay? They look like they came right out of the ocean. And we just started changing and changing and changing our appearances to the point that we can't be recognized anymore. And we started to jack up our DNA. That's why his face looked so freakish. That the only way we could cope with our faces was to do extreme transformation of our whole form. He says that the human race will eventually return to its pristine self and never to be afraid ever of the forms that we transform into over segments of time, because that is what we our therapy that we need in order to work through our relationships with each other and ourselves. And it is scary for us because he has access to the memories of all times, and it is extremely scary for us when we go through this because there's so much unresolved pain. And by changing our appearance, it's like we are changing our relationship with the pain when all we are doing is avoiding dealing with it. And he says that this is actually okay. When this happens is okay. He never shows us becoming like robotic. He just shows us learning how to tweak DNA, and I don't feel like it works in our favor. As in it does. He never says anything wrong about it. Like it's he says that this is exactly the medicine that we need, that as a collective, we are always making choices that are a reflection of exactly where we are evolved to based on our unique design. And every single creation goes through evolutionary process based on their unique design, and that the human race goes through an evolutionary process. And he is here as he is supporting and sending light to support all times of this human evolution. And we need to know that we are always supported, and he understands the pain that we are going through because it is painful to be human. But he reminds me of my initial interpretation of him because it was so generously beautiful. It's like seeing the human race for as I would like to see it be. And he represents that. But now I understand why his face becomes really intolerable to look at, only to slink off to show a creaturey looking face, only to slink off to show yet another creaturey looking thing. And then the desire to return to the original form, which we'll be able to do that because that is what we deeply desire as a collective, in the heart of our collective, is to truly embrace as we are, all of our emotions, our appearances, and everything. And that will be our final evolutionary process, is to return to ourself. It literally is what he's saying. He is the nicest man. He is so flipping nice. Ugh. You ever have somebody buy your groceries, like they're standing in front of you and they like put an extra like $20 down, and then you go to ring up and they say, oh, they put $20 on your grocery or whatever, and it's just like, that is the nicest thing that anybody could do for me today. Like, what a genuine sweet thing to do. Thank you. He represents that like surprising generosity and absolute kindness that creates that person. It's incredible. Wow, thank you. My God, what an experience this has been. Okay, all right. I'm going to do clear quartz consciousness, and then I'm going to enjoy reading all the comments. Okay, here we go. Okay. Sending energy down. Oh, I feel like I'm coming way down to earth kind of thing. I was in a pretty high vibrational space. Okay. Oh, man, I feel like I'm going through a major transformation process in order to go into here. It's like the elevator is dropping and I'm going deep, 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 deep through dimensional planes and dimensional layers, and it's getting denser and denser and denser and thicker. Okay. Okay, so clear quartz crystal right now is everywhere. And it's very childlike to me. It's also the spirit of it is in the sky. It's the spirit in the sky, and it's the spirit in the earth. And it's like babies laughing. It's phenomenal to hear babies laughing. This is a great sound. And there's the mother clear quartz crystal. And I mean, she's like the big mama because I see this massive, massive, massive clear quartz, like massive chunk, okay, of it. It's enormous. It's like the size of the Titanic or something. And all these little pieces break off and become these babies. And the babies laugh and laugh and laugh, and they're so happy. And they're given life. So when they separate from the mother, they are going on their own life journey. And they're always able to reconnect with the heart of where they were born from, this mother mass. But where was the mother mass born from? I mean, she literally is saying that she was a manifestation of a beautiful dream. And that's how she came to be. And she is so happy that she exists. And she feels blessed to exist. And feels blessed to share her existence with others. And her children are all around us. And that makes her a very proud mother. I'm going deeper into the heart of her. And oh my gosh, it's vibrationally just really, holy smokes. Whew. Oh man, I feel like shaky. I feel like it's hard to breathe because it's just so energetically intense. Man, just a moment here. I'm going through many different phases of connection. I'm still working my way into the center of her being, okay? It's hard to breathe. And it's all good. It's just the energy is vibrating so intensely that it's like it takes your breath away. Because your vibration is different than the mother clear quartz vibration. And so you literally attune yourself to her vibration when you merge with her energy. You attune yourself to her vibration, which it can take your breath away. But as you attune to her energy, there is an incredible comforting sensation to that. And our bodies need to be tuned to the earth energies. That's why crystals being accessible is so healthy, because we have access to the mother consciousness through one of her babies. And we can attune to the mother consciousness crystal when we hold it in our hand. And it helps us to vibrate in that balanced, harmonious way that the mother vibrates. And this is very special. What's really surreal is going into the center of this energy. My goodness. I feel very comfortable now. I feel suddenly like I just got through that weird phase. And we're all in this together. So don't be shy to allow yourself to feel the journey into the heart of the mother clear quartz crystal. And now that I've gone through that adaptation, I'm in the center and I feel incredibly amazing. I mean, I feel great. Like, oh man, I feel great. Incredibly great. I feel like I could run miles and miles and miles without ever getting tired. I feel like I want to know everything about the universe. She's always smiling and always giving. And she knows she's not afraid if, like, for instance, she shows me her giving herself down to the last of herself, the final baby of herself. But she experiences her existences everywhere because she is a stream that manifested everywhere. And so she could never give enough of herself that she never exists, because even in her babies, she exists and she exists everywhere. And so she's always generously giving without fear of becoming lost, because she's never lost. She exists also within the baby crystals. And I feel like she is full of information and she is connected to everywhere in the universe. The next thing is I feel like falling asleep. And I'm just going to allow this part of myself to rest within the heart of this mother crystal, because I feel like she knows the medicine of my energetic balance. So it's not just her as herself, it is her connecting to so much meaning in the universe and allowing me to absorb it inside myself as a nourishment. And I feel nourished. I feel like I'm going to let this part of me just rest and receive. I'm just going to let myself rest and receive. And we all can allow ourselves to just rest and receive an aspect of ourselves in the consciousness of the mother of the clear quartz crystal. Because what we are receiving is exactly the energetic structures that our specific soul vibration is requesting of the universe. And she knows that blueprint. And she's supporting each and every one of us and helping us to align with the blueprint of our balance. She seems to innately know what that is, as she herself is her own blueprint. But she helps us to align with our actual blueprint, and so we can feel like ourself. It's almost like we get disoriented and vibrate away from the blueprint, and she can help us to return to our blueprint. All the while she is her own blueprint, and we don't derail her. We can be derailed, but we don't derail her, and she knows what our blueprint needs. So I'm just going to allow her to help me to feel aligned with my blueprint. I will say I feel very, very like I could go right back to bed and sleep for like a while. That was neat. Thank you so much for that. Okay. So I'm going to move on down the comments here. So excited about what we're discovering. Okay. So salutations, Abbey. Not at all normal. Finally arrived on time. So excited. Rob, you say, hi, Abbey. I'd like to hear Cryon's thoughts on the current state of ascension on Earth. Okay. So Cryon, and then Dylan, you say, oh, fun. It's total request spirit hour. Want to channel Luca, Luca. It's an acronym for the last universal common ancestor in molecular biology. Luca is the theoretical first physical conscious life form. Oh, cool. So it is the theoretical first physical conscious life form on Earth, which all beings with DNA, RNA are connected to on the tree of life, going backwards in time. I wonder who we all were and where we'll go next. Okay. All right, next comment. You say, oh, like the littles in charge of every blade of grass and grain of sand in every living form. I love these littles. How exciting. They wiggle in living form and vibrate in everything, but so many can't see. They are there everywhere, and no separation exists between us. I arrived on the right day. Luca, salute. Okay, so we got a lot of woo, interesting. And how comforting to imagine merging into the mother quartz energy and melting into home, to feel home in your vibrational being, be wildly vibrational, be wildly and intensely. Star explosion. Okay, you guys are awesome. All right, so Kryon, thoughts on current state of ascension on Earth. Okay. Hmm. He's very composed. He shows me a star. And it is upside down. It's like a five-sided star and it's upside down. But he doesn't see it upside down. But he does draw lines through each of the kind of arms, legs, head. And then where he draws some other lines as well. I mean, it's, yeah, he's just drawing lines and creating like let's put a star in the center of a pizza and then let's draw some line to create slices, okay? And they're like triangular slices. And they're all still connected, but I can see the outline of the separation. And I can see the star in the center. And okay, this is really hard. He sheds a tear, and the star being upside down is now moving to what could be said right side up. But my God, is it hard to do this? It's like it takes all of the strength of every human being to turn the star. And it's so heavy and so difficult to do this that it takes every human being, whether we're consciously aware that we are moving the star to be right side up, which we feel refreshed to see the star upright, which represents his message here. We're all working together to move the star into its upright position, whether we're consciously aware of it or not. Our existence here on earth alone is that process, is us raising our hands saying, I am going to participate in the earth experience. And I know that I won't understand it or won't fully realize it in my conscious awareness, but that the intensity of my life is the strength of me working with all the other souls to turn that dial, to get that star upright. He says it takes a lot of strength, a lot of strength to turn the dial, to get the star upright. And it takes time. He says you build muscles. So we're all building muscles as the star is turning. And we're all getting stronger every single day as the star is turning. We're all getting stronger together. I see that the scene is black with a golden star in the center. And these sort of lines that come through are even like a thicker line of black. And it feels dismal. I tell him it feels dismal, heavy, difficult. I feel like pain is involved in this. So yes, we are strong and getting stronger, but when do we get a vacation? It's just, I feel the agonizing, like it takes so much. I can feel that. He says, whenever you want, you can take a vacation whenever you want. Souls do that all the time. They'll come to Earth for a period of time, a period of lives, 1, 2, 3, and take a break somewhere else to come back when they're ready. And he really wants us to stop feeling like we have to always come back again and again and again and again. Some souls keep doing that. Some souls do that. Some souls do not do that. Some souls will live a lifetime and leave and then come back. Some souls will live 3 lifetimes, 10 lifetimes. He's really showing it to me like this, that if you want to leave and take a vacation and then come back, then you can do that. You can do whatever you want. Don't feel attached, because there's always souls ready to continue this process. Also, there's so many souls that are able to, where you go do what you need to do, and in some other dimension, time, and place to rehabilitate, another soul will come back to that area. Okay, so it's like it's always filled in with souls. He seems to know every single soul on the whole planet. And he really focuses on, as we understand Earth as the only Earth in existence, he's not talking about different versions of Earth, he's talking about this Earth. And he is watching this Earth, and he knows every single soul. He knows every soul that will, what they will do after this life, where they will go, when they will come back. He already knows. It's like Santa knows if you've been good or bad. Kryon knows what your soul desires inside of itself, and what its next experience is going to be, and when it will even be attracted to coming back to Earth. Kryon knows this. And he really very supportive of all souls, but he sees that there's he shows me certain souls that have been here for a very, 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 very long time, and have built so many muscles and skills, and are still here. And he sends lots of light, because their souls in a way are like the stubborn oxen that will keep pulling and pulling and never stop until the work is done. And so he sends them light in order to help them continue to accomplish what they desire to accomplish, because all souls have different desires. And so he's helping souls that are pulling a lot of weight, to help them to keep pulling the weight, because they want to pull the weight, and they're asking for assistance to keep pulling it. So he is supporting those with a lot of energy. And he loves all souls. I mean, and he understands all souls, but my God, is he ever focusing a lot of himself into souls that are choosing to pull heavy weights, and to remain incarnate states here, to continue to pull heavy weights, and to get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger in the identity of the human, so that they can help support the movement of that star, and they become leaders to continue to help in the movement of that star. So he's really focusing on helping those souls, because they have such an impact on moving that star. And so that's what he's showing me. He says, don't put a time on ascension. As in, let's keep putting light into each other, because that is the support that gets that star moving and helps us to all reap the reward, is the light. The light of love and help, and love and help and support, and love and help and support. Like he's just like he sends me that feeling of just gratitude that somebody was freaking there. Like he sends me that feeling like somebody cared about me, that I felt so alone, and somebody actually cared about me. Like that is the powerful impression that we can make on each other, because so much of us are struggling to pull the weight, that when we help each other, it makes us so much stronger. When we work together through love, through support, we become stronger. Hmm. Okay, I'm gonna go really quick, check out this Luca. It's an acronym for the last universal common ancestor in my molecular biology. It's the theoretical first physical conscious life form on Earth, which all beings with DNA, RNA are connected to on the tree of life going backward in time. Cool. Okay. I'm going to explore this now. And I'm going to read the remaining messages. Okay. It's like beep, 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 beep. I feel like adorable little like pinpoints of sound, little tiny, 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 and little pinpoints of sound. And it's like xylophones going up and down really fast, and it's super cute. And it's very, 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 very tiny, and it's very happy. And it's kind of like a substance, like you could say a clay. And the clay then is molded and shaped through time and weather and change. You know, it's kind of that concept. The mountain that is created in time becomes once again the plains, you know, is this time, you know. But this is more like a not clay so much as, and it's not fabric, it's, I want to say it's a squishy or thin material, and it's a layer. And from within this layer are the manifestation of creations. And it seems to be a computer in and of itself, because it is receiving information. And from that information, it grows and develops things. It's like, what are those 3D printers? It's like kind of like has that nature, like it's a substance that 3D prints from inside of itself and starts to form things. And I mean, believe it or not, it feels like it happens quite fast, like instantaneously, bam, done. Like if we were to tap into what this is, we could create human beings in a second of time. So this whole concept of the time it takes to create a mountain and for the mountain then to disappear back into the earth, this thing, I swear to God, it works really fast, like a 3D printer. And because it already knows and it's already manifesting form. I'm just watching it right now. There's other beings in the universe that know about this, and they work with this. I mean, they work with this basic matter. I mean, they're definite incarnate beings that work with this substance and create things with it instantaneously, like a 3D printer. Is it possible that, I mean, it's just an idea. What if they just brought the 3D printer? What if beings from other parts of the universe came and just brought the 3D printer and brought life forms to Earth, just bam, right then and there? I mean, that's a heck of a lot of life forms and a lot of different designs. I mean, how many different kinds of insects are there on the planet alone? It's conflicting because it's hard to understand, where does it exist? How does it work with time so quickly? It definitely exists with certain incarnate beings who make things with it. And then it's not necessarily showing me that it's that it seems to me like it was brought here. That you could say Earth was just a rock, and then this was brought here and it was allowed to just create, like terraform or something. I mean, it's almost like a weird substance, like one drop will do, and then it just grows itself and it just is full of information and starts creating things like instantaneously, as though a whole world was here. And it took a billion years to create it, but it really only took seconds, because this material is so powerful. and is so alive and is so happy to create. And it doesn't take long to do it. And it doesn't need anything but itself to do it. And it can grow and expand and be anything it wants to create. And it's like a greenish colored substance. And it's very thin. I want to see, I want to put this, I want to see if this substance is on Mars, for instance, okay? Or I want to put this substance on Mars and see what happens. Some of its information comes from the sun. It literally, I feel more vibration of this Luca stuff in the sun than I feel on Mars. And maybe it is part of the sun that grows things, right? It feels like the sun is full of this Luca stuff. And it sends the Luca information into all of us. And that we work with it on a regular basis to grow and manifest whatever we want in our life. And whether that's an illness or that is I'm getting younger by the day, or like you can manifest like any miracle you want, really. I feel like part of the ingredient is that it needs some level of, it needs a something like a consciousness, a spark of consciousness, because it in of itself has the information, but it wants a creator to inspire it, kind of thing. It is very playful energy. It's very happy, playful energy. And it is so vast in everything that it knows. It's like the ultimate encyclopedia of every creation ever created, or ever desired to be created in a whole infinite universe. That's how vast it is. I mean, if you know how to work with this, you could instantaneously transform Mars into an Earth overnight. That's literally what the capacity of this substance is. That's what it's like for me. All right. Thank you so much for that. Wow, that was very interesting. Okay, so you say I adore Kryon, the upside down right side, right back. No bad to fight, just shaking the sprinkles out of the human race and planet into the ever expanding ascension energy. Gosh, every human has been shaking the earth out of density, and holy cow, what a job. Thank you to all present for the harmonic convergence who shook us free. I salute you all, light winds, the fight, so dance in the night. That is so cool. Kyle, you say, fascinating, Abbey. Thank you. Get on with your morning now. Blessings to all. We care about each other. And then you, Jessica, you say, one drop will do to make me and you out of cosmic plasma goo. Perhaps sparked from the spark point of creation, Luca. I wonder it could carry the memory codes of creation, thus making divine creator goop with sparkles. I love that. All right, everybody. Amanda, Dylan, Rob, Jessica, thank you for sticking around. Thank you for your suggestions. I really enjoyed this today. I hope you all have a great rest of your day or afternoon or evening. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Rob, Amanda, Dylan, Jessica. Thank you, everybody who could come. Lush, Kyle. All right, take care.